The game against San Marino. I mean, we said it on the podcast on Friday.
Easy. We're going to win the Euros.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the World Cup. Then I was about to say you're getting a bit
Maybe
ahead of
that
yourself.
as well.
We've only played 2 games. Hello and welcome back to the Off The Crossbar Podcast with myself, Regan Walsh, and my co-presenter as always, Brad. How are you doing on this Monday afternoon?
I'm fantastic. I can go outside.
Oh, and the sun is absolutely beaming here where we are today. So the start of spring is officially here as well. So it's all good things on the horizon. However, it's still the international break as the time we're recording, and we have had international fixtures since we recorded our podcast on Thursday. England have played twice. The first game they played was against San Marino, where they won 5-0, and then they played Albania on Sunday in a game which they won 2-0. The game against San Marino, I mean, we said it on the podcast on Friday.
Easy. We're going to win the Euros.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the World Cup. Then I was about to say you're getting a bit
Maybe
ahead of
that as
yourself.
well.
We've only played 2 games. But I think you said on the podcast on Friday you was expecting a 5-0 win, and anything less was disappointing.
It should have been double figures from what I had on. But
Yeah.
This is almost a damning statement, what I'm about to say, because yesterday I found for the first time in what feels like years, the Formula 1 to be more interesting than an England game.
No, the Formula 1 was a lot more interesting than an England game.
It hasn't been interesting for years.
This is the thing though with England, is they get drawn in a group with a bunch of nobody, so they're in, like, whether it's the World Cup qualifiers or the Euro qualifiers, we always get easy games. I mean, we spoke about it the other day, who were in England's group, and it's just a bunch of nobodies apart from Poland and Hungary.
It's very rude on Hungary.
No, I said Poland and Hungary, and the other 3 teams are Albania, Andorra, and San Marino. We're always going to win them games. Like, if England don't finish this qualification group with 100% record, or say maybe 9 wins and a draw, because the draw coming against Poland, it's going to be a disappointment for Southgate.
I think that's a bit of a downer there on Hungary. I think they're probably the better team overall. I think Poland, they have the best player in the world right now.
Yeah.
As we know, but the rest of their team is sort of lacking, at least from an outside perspective. I think Hungary do have more options team-wise.
I mean, you've got obviously Galashi in goal, Adam Salajai as well. They'd usually have... what's that fellow who's joined Leipzig now?
You're on about Dominic Spolstra?
Yes, the Bolshoi, but he's currently injured. So they have a good few players. Are they better than the Poland team? Undecided. I mean, looking at the qualifying so far, they've got an identical amount of goals scored and conceded. So, and Poland are higher. So it remains to be seen. But England got the results they needed. 2 wins out of 2 so far. Who standout players? I think first game probably say Calvert-Lewin or Jesse Lingard.
Yeah, Lingard stands out for the fact that he couldn't score past that San Marino goalkeeper. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
That goalkeeper was having a madness despite everything.
Yeah, he seemed to be saving every Lingard shot possible and then letting every other one else go in.
There was at least 2 saves I thought were pretty world class, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, they were definitely big saves.
But he couldn't deal. So he couldn't deal with the mighty Ollie Watkins
scoring on his England debut, and I believe there was a story that means that's like another 1.5 million that Aston Villa have to pay for someone, is it? Because of his making.
I don't know if Brentford had something as well with Exeter. So I think it's them as well. But yeah, winners all round.
Yes. And then in Sunday's game, standout performer, definitely, I'd say Mason Mount or Luke Shaw.
So was that your Gareth Southgate impression then, praising Mason Mount? Because, well, I mean, he looked good, but I can't praise anyone. That was the most boring game I've watched in quite a while.
Yeah, it was a boring game, but it's England. In a way, in Albania, I'm not expecting anything too big of a result there. And Gareth Southgate, for me, doesn't play the most entertaining football anyway, so I wasn't expecting anything else.
Like that starting 11 he put out is something that I'm fully expecting to be the starting 11 against Croatia in the first group game.
Yeah, so a reminder for those if you didn't see it: Pope in goal, Walker, Stones, Maguire, Shaw as the back four, Rice, Calvin Phillips, and Mason Mount in the midfield three, and then the forward three of Phil Foden, Harry Kane, and Raheem Sterling. I think maybe Calvin Phillips' position is the one that's probably the most up for grabs out of that starting 11, but I'd have to agree with you. The rest of it is pretty set in stone. And maybe, obviously, Pope and Pickford swap over.
For me, he's not in it. And I'm not a Calvin Phillips hater. As in, I do really like him. I see what he brings to a team, and he fits Leeds' system very well. But better options in terms of what the England midfield should be.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I don't think he's the best option that he's going to have, even if you're playing Jack Grealish out of his natural, well, I say natural, more natural left-sided position. I think he would work better behind Harry Kane than what Calvin Phillips does.
Yeah. What would be better to see would be Rice, obviously, in the DM.
Yeah.
Then Mason Mount as that number 8, which you can do. Then you have Foden as the number 10.
Yeah.
And then you bring in, maybe put Sterling on the right.
Where he played yesterday.
Well, he was, I can't remember what it was he played yesterday, but then you have Grealish on the left. And Grealish plays pretty much interchangeable for us in club football anyway. He floats all over.
Yeah.
Which means Sterling could go on the left anyway.
Yeah, which, I mean, Sterling does the exact same thing for Manchester City as well. He's never just stuck to that one side. He's always moving about the front three line for Pep Guardiola's side. So, yeah, it's definitely something that could happen. And you never know, if they have a couple more friendlies lined up before the Euros, I wouldn't be surprised to see Southgate do it.
If there's one last thing to add as well, I know Harry Kane's overall game now sees him come deep quite a lot to try and dictate stuff, but my God, can he please stop doing that?
Oh no, it's so annoying.
Like they were analysing it in half time. Yes, that from what I was seeing. Every time he came deep, there was just no one forward then.
Yeah.
And he just lacked that attack, and then the second he's forward, he ends up scoring.
And that's where I think the difference between Calvert-Lewin and Kane is Calvert-Lewin is that type of striker that will definitely stay there in that position, and when there's a quick counter-attack, he'll be there, compared to Kane, who, like you said, comes a lot deeper naturally. And if England want to play like a good, quick counter-attacking style of play, I would hesitant to say you'd maybe don't play Kane.
Well, or you play him. He's the captain. There's no way he doesn't start. He's literally the first name on the team sheet.
Yeah, but it's one of them. Do you sacrifice playing good attacking football just for Harry Kane's sake?
That's already been done. Don't worry.
But yeah, there's no joy in it. It's the if you want to play that style of football, Harry Kane just doesn't suit it.
Roll on, June.
Elsewhere for the home nations on the second match day, Republic of Ireland lost 1-0 to Luxembourg. Jason Rodriguez scored in the 85th minute for Luxembourg, which is a massive shock. Just about. It's go on.
How far the Republic of Ireland have fallen? They're not even going to qualify for the World Cup already.
Oh no. Scotland played out a 1 draw with Israel. Ryan Fraser pulled the Scots level just before the hour mark after going at 1-0 down just before half time. And Northern Ireland, who did they play?
I believe they played the US in a friendly.
Yes, and the US won 2-1
I believe so, yeah.
in the friendly. So we still have one more set of international fixtures to go, which is tomorrow and Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah, you were looking at me for clarification there.
Yes. Before we return to club football, so bring on that.
Well, there's only one talking about that. It's the Poland game now becomes less interesting because there's no Lewandowski.
Yes, as it's been ruled out for 5 to 10 days.
Something like that. Yeah.
A knee injury, and it's putting him at risk for Munich's game against Leipzig this weekend.
No, they don't need him.
He'll be back and end up scoring at this rate.
He's got a record to get.
Exactly. Yes. On to the WSL now, and we had the 6 fixtures across the weekend, starting off at Old Trafford between Manchester United and West Ham in the half-11 kickoff in the first game that Man United women have ever played a professional league game at Old Trafford, and Casey Stoney's side won 2-0 thanks to a Lauren James goal and Kristen Press as well. Both within a few minutes of each other in the second half. West Ham did finish the game with 10 players after Laura Vetterline was sent off with 13 minutes remaining. United thoroughly deserved the win, in my opinion, and I think Casey Stoney apparently said it at half-time. She was disappointed that they didn't take more chances in the first half. Obviously not using that language, she apparently used more expletives, saying that if they want to be a Champions League club, they have to be playing at a Champions League level. And she's right.
What are they playing at Old Trafford then?
Good joke. But yeah, great to see. And now with Lauren James scoring the first goal at Old Trafford, one of those accolades that she's ticked off, because she was the first player to score in the FA Women's Championship for Man United, first player to score in the FA Women's Super League for Manchester United, and the FA Cup as well for Manchester United. And she's still 19 years old.
Not a bad record to have.
Yes. Then it was the North London derby between Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and it was Jura Montemurro's Arsenal that ran out 3-0 winners thanks to Caitlin Ford, Katie McCabe, and a wonder strike from Viviana Miedema to give the sides 3 points and keep the pressure right on top of Manchester United. Is there anything Miedema can't do? That goal was...
Go on, I'll give you 5 minutes. Just whack lyrical.
It was an absolute peach of a goal. Coming from a corner from Katie McCabe, Miedema had a player on her and also Caitlin Ford and a defender in front of her, and she managed to hit it first on the volley past Becky Spencer, I think it was, in goal for Tottenham. And although Spencer did seem to get a hand to it, it wasn't enough to stop the strike going, and it now means Miedema has scored her 15th goal in the league this season.
Just in as well, they had 26 shots.
Yeah, which is, I think, the more disappointing bit, that they only scored 3.
So it seems like it.
They usually score like a good few against Tottenham, and I don't know what was wrong with them. They just couldn't get. I mean, Jill Roord had 3 or 4 chances that I can just think of off the top of my head where she could have scored, but it was either saved by Spence or hit off the defender, so that's why it was only 3-0. And then the final game on Saturday took place at the Academy Stadium between Manchester City and Reading, and it was Man City that won it in the 87th minute thanks to a Chloe Kelly goal after a brilliant piece of skill from Lauren Hemp to weave herself through 3 or 4 Reading defenders and lay it off to Kelly for an easy goal. City are definitely going to be disappointed with that result, only beating Reading 1-0.
It sounds like they made pretty hard work of it.
Oh yeah. When the I can't remember who the commentator gave man of the match for now. I don't know whether it was Lucy Kelly, but I was like, at the same time, although she was on the losing side, Grace Maloney made some excellent saves in that and put the City strikers under a lot of pressure to take shots early, and that's why it was only 1-0, because they weren't clinical enough. But Reading have seemed to have been the top sides, like bogey team this year. Because I know Man United have lost to them. City only just. I don't know whether Arsenal have played them twice. I think the first time they played them, they absolutely destroyed them. I think like that second time they played them was a lot harder. So they do seem to be the surprise team. Then on Sunday, Brighton hosted Everton, and it was the Toffees that ran out 5-0 winners thanks to a Hayley Raso hat-trick, which is a perfect hat-trick, left foot, right foot and a header, an Isabel Christiansen penalty, and a Simone Miguel goal for Willie Kirk's side in what was definitely the surprise scoreline of the weekend.
I was going to say, can we say we were really caught out, boys, judging by our predictions in the last podcast?
Yeah, none of us even thought it was going to be this result at all. But Hayley Raso, oh my God, she was on fire that game. Everything seemed just to go through her before. Obviously, she scored the hat-trick herself, but she was a player on form that game and made it hard for Hope Powell's side, and a thoroughly deserved 3 points there for the Toffees. Then the second to last game saw Chelsea play Aston Villa, and it was a Sam Kerr brace with 2 assists from Fran Kirby that gave Emma Hayes' side the victory. And I'm just going to have another quick round before I'll allow you to speak. Fran Kirby.
I don't think there's much for me to say. I'll just look to the stats.
Sam Kerr and Fran Kirby are the best duo in football at this minute. The way they're playing, it's actually a joy to watch. Like
the ball claim.
I genuinely can't think of a better duo at this minute in time than them two. They are just playing absolutely wonderful. They always seem to be scoring or assisting each other, and it's genuinely one of the best pieces of football between like two players I've seen in a long time. But yeah, disappointing result you got to say for Villa's end.
It's not surprising the defeat, I think, but out of context, those stats make grim reading.
And it's always going to be hard against a Chelsea team that are absolutely flying at the minute. Just looking at something. Just looking at something. No, I think there's a team. Well, there's definitely a team worse than yes at the minute. I'd say it's between realistically Bristol City and West Ham.
As if we play them and lose to them, pretty much.
So just looking at it this season, Fran Kirby has 12 goals, Sam Kerr has 13, and Kirby has 8 assists, 6 assists for Sam Kerr. And it's honestly, it's absolute crazy and a joy to watch them two play this season. And then the final game in the WSL between Birmingham City and Bristol City at Dampson Park finished in a 1-1 draw. Charlie Wellings opened the scoring early on for Bristol City before Christine Murray, a beautiful strike just before the hour mark, gave Birmingham a point. And so the table sees Chelsea remain at top 2 points ahead of Manchester City. Manchester United remain 3 points ahead of Arsenal, though the Gunners do have a game in hand. And then West Ham bring up the foot of the table on 9 points, despite playing 2 games less than Bristol City, who are up in 10th. So 4 games to go for a few teams and 5 for everyone else. But it's going to be a very close finish to the season at both ends of the table. Who gets that last Champions League spot between Man United and Arsenal? Who goes down between Bristol City, Birmingham, Villa and West Ham? And who takes the title between Chelsea and Man City? Though I'm not one to be... I mean, I know we make predictions on this, but I definitely don't want to be making them sort of predictions. Who's going to win the league and who's going to go down?
No, we don't go that far.
No. Not this season anyway.
Oh, God.
Right. There was also talk earlier on this morning, according to Sky Sports, that the ECA, who are the people that run the European Champions Agency, I think it is, or Community. Basically, they're the ones that do European Clubs Association. That's what it stands for.
Yeah, that's very wrong from what you were saying.
They are the people that sort out like the Champions League and Europa Leagues and all that. And apparently they want to create a second-tier European competition and Club World Cup tournament for women's football. So basically they want to include a Europa League, as so to speak, and a Club World Cup. So obviously the winners of all the big European competitions go onto it, which is a great idea. And obviously, like we said with the Sky deal last week, it's evident that the women's game is growing, and this could be another step in the right direction.
Yeah, does sound like it, and looking at it from the money perspective as well, it should benefit a lot more of the lower level clubs.
Yeah.
If they get in there, and then it just allows them to improve further.
It'd be interesting to see how many teams it will be and what the coefficiency ruling is for it, because obviously you may say like another one or two teams from England get European football, so it could be like top 3 get Champions League, and then 4th and 5th maybe get this new Europa League if it goes through, which would be obviously a great thing. And like you said, incentives for the smaller teams, especially in the WSL and other big leagues where there is such a financial disparity between the top teams and the lower teams, then that is something definitely to fight for. But there has been no confirmation of to when it is to come into effect, though you would expect within the next 3-4 seasons with how the game is rising. Right, a bit of transfer news now, and apparently Liverpool are wanting to sign Ibrahima Konate from RB Leipzig. They've apparently started talks. He has a release clause of 40 million or 47 million euros, and contract would be till June 2026. He's a defender, looked very good in that Leipzig team. Could they afford to lose another centre-half as well as losing Upamecano already? I know they've a replacement in Mohamed Simic, but that's 2 big losses, isn't it, for them?
It will be, but I feel like they wouldn't allow it unless they were well prepared, given how Leipzig's setup is.
Yeah. They do tend to allow players to go because they know that the players that they have in return coming are really good. And then there's some talk apparently that Marcel Sabitzer wants to leave as well.
Yeah, from what I was reading, it could be quite the clear out.
It does seem to happen every couple of years that they do seem to do a little bit of a clear out, but then they have the next prodigies there and waiting for them. And then according to the Chronicle, which is obviously the paper up north, Dwight Gale has agreed terms on a new deal to stick with Newcastle. The contract length hasn't been disclosed as of yet, but could be a good deal for Newcastle to have at least him stay for if they do go down to the Championship. But
you stole my joke then.
Well, what was you going to say?
I was going to say, who says Mike Ashley doesn't prepare well? He's preparing for the Championship.
Well, yeah, if you remember Dwight Gale at West Brom, he was absolutely on fire in the Championship, wasn't he? Him and Rodriguez.
Shame we couldn't make it in the playoffs, though.
Yes. Elsewhere along the gossip, apparently, according to AS, Chelsea and Liverpool want to sign Martin Odegaard from Real Madrid, who's currently on at Arsenal.
I feel like this would be the most Arsenal thing ever if it happens.
Yeah. But what I also say, any story that comes out of AS is absolute BS. They just make up absolute rubbish all the time.
That's a big trademark you're having there.
Yes. Jermaine Defoe has apparently said that Harry Kane has to leave Tottenham this summer if he is to win trophies, which we spoke about last week, and I fully agree. Well, it's the price tag, though, isn't it?
It's always going to be the price tag with players of his quality nowadays, but it's also a question of whether clubs will actually want him.
It'd be very interesting to see. And final bit of news, apparently AC Milan have opened talks with Man United over the possibility of signing Diogo Dalot on a permanent deal and have apparently offered an initial £15 million for the Portuguese right back.
I'm guessing that's something you would take.
Yeah, because I feel like we paid roughly that amount for him, or just a little over.
You don't think
so
he's
I
going to
will
make it then?
No, for me, from what I've seen, they've seemed to be constant and looking at signing another right back, someone more profound. So I think I've seen like Max Aarons and other players linked with United. So it does seem like Delo's time is up, which is unfortunate because I do think he's still a young, good player and has got a lot of bright future ahead of him. But yeah, just having a look here. According to Transfermarkt, United paid 19.8 million for him. So if we get 15 for him, we've practically recouped it all back. So can't complain too much. Right, it's on to. Did you see that?
I do not believe what I've just seen. Very interesting. Oh,
Something weird is going on.
shit! Did you see that?
Yeah, see, I think we should be starting with your one because my one's way more funny.
Okay, well, mine does include a graphic warning.
Graphic warning, no
Because-
one's seeing it.
Yeah, but it's a graphic stuff. Don't go Googling it.
How are
Then.
you going to
That's what
describe
I
it?
say.
I'm worried now.
Okay, well, just pre-warning, don't go Googling it. So, Forest Green Rovers were playing a game against Bolton Wanderers. What day was it now? Was it Friday? Or was it Saturday afternoon? Saturday afternoon. And in one of the most freakish accidents I've ever seen happen on a football pitch, I've never seen it. So, literally 90 seconds into the game, Jamil Matt picked up a horrific hand injury in a collision with MJ Williams, and he seems to have broken every finger in his hand. And if you've seen images of it, don't go Googling it now, but it is absolutely horrible. And it's such a freak occurrence of a thing to have happened.
Yeah, that's what I've seen of it. It's pretty grim.
Oh,
Present,
yeah. No. I know the match of the day lot were mocking Alexander Lacazette the other week for letting out his screams when he apparently got shot. Though I imagine the screams were very similar from the Forest Green Rovers player there, and yeah, he's been ruled out for the rest of the season, unsurprisingly.
Ray Hudson, it was not.
What have you got then for us to bring
Right,
us a bit
you
of
heard any-
laughter?
Have you heard anything been going on lately in Tunisia?
I have seen this story, yes.
You have seen, so you haven't seen this unreal game of football between Mahamdia and Radez, however the hell they say it.
Redez.
Radez, sorry. So, pretty normal standard game at half time. It's 2-1 to Radez. But
Mhm.
I want to know what was in all the halftime coffees.
They
Because
must have had something blooming strong, I can tell you that much.
it's somewhat, because the game went on to finish 7-all.
I mean, imagine if you left the game at half time.
I mean, I'd be more disturbed if there was fans there, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but on a normal occasion, obviously, I don't know what the situation is like in Tunisia with fans being allowed into or not at games. But yeah, 7-7. Did everyone just forget how to defend or something?
I don't think they could have been asked. They just came out second. I thought, sure. What is this defending malarkey?
Mm.
Let's just try and outscore them.
Oh, it would surprise me if a couple of days' time you find out that both managers have been fired from their jobs because they had one of the managers had a bet on the game finishing 7-7.
Well, this is the funny thing because I hadn't completely finished the full story.
There's more.
Because the Tunisian football, I think it's the Football Association, or their higher ups, They are investigating the game.
I'm not surprised if it's 2-1 at half time and finishes 7-7. You're damn right. I'm looking into this. It's, who isn't looking into that? If that's blown up on European Twitter and social media for a game that happens in Tunisia, there's something wrong into this.
Oh, Lord.
You know, remember that? I don't know that bit in Infinity War where Black Panther, God rest his soul, goes, "We don't do that around here." That's what them like we're like we've defended in the second half. We don't do that around here. We don't defend.
Well, I applaud the reference. I'm amazed you've seen this movie. As someone who doesn't watch films.
I mean, I haven't seen the movie. I've used the GIF as well, so that's how I know about it. So,
Still, I applaud that reference.
yes.
But speaking of fraudulence, I think now is the time, unless you want to do something else first. But I'm prepared to guess this squad.
Right, so on Friday, I absolutely destroyed Brad by giving him one of the hardest games he could have had to go through, as I gave him England versus San Marino from 2008, and he gave me...
I think it was actually 2013 or 15, I can't remember. It wasn't 2008, I can tell you that much.
Okay, well, either way, it was a hard squad, and he only guessed one player right out of it, and I guessed two, so that means I won. However, as you did go first last time, I get to go first. So what game have you got for me this week?
I've almost gone by the same standards that you applied in the last podcast.
Okay.
So we're obviously playing Poland tomorrow.
Yep.
Well, it's tomorrow as of time of recording. So I want you to guess the England 11 from the game against Poland in 2013.
Okay. I'm going to go with a measly, because I don't remember watching much of England in 2013, or watch England football anyway, unless it's an international tournament. 2013, so I'm going to go with 4 players. Just because I don't know how many you're going to get from my squad.
Okay, I'm already worried. That's quite a low number we've gone with.
Yeah.
You're confident enough to say a low number that you don't think I will get that.
Well, not just because you won't get it. Well, I feel like you probably will win this, but my England knowledge of 2013 is awful. Who was even manager?
I'll say this squad isn't that bad.
Who's the manager?
You can aim for this.
Who's the manager?
I believe 2013. It's Roy Hodgson.
Okay. Joe Hart.
Always go for the goalkeepers here. I know you're way now. So yeah.
Who would have been the centre backs in 2013? I can't think of who the centre backs would have been. Ashley Cole would have retired then.
You're allowed to name other players than defenders, you know.
No, I'm just trying to go through like position wise. Wazza, was he in the squad then? Wayne Rooney?
He is in there.
Okay, so that's 2. 2013. Now, would it have been Frank or Stevie? That's one of the midfielders, because they both wouldn't have played then under Roy Hodgson.
Wait, confirmed. Has to be starting 11.
Yeah.
I thought we should allow substitutes that come on.
Okay. Yeah, subs that come on are allowed. 20. JT, was he in that squad?
You're going with John Terry?
Yeah.
He is nowhere near it.
Really?
He's not in it.
Okay.
There goes your warning.
Daniel Sturridge? Because he had a great 2013.
Daniel Sturridge. It's number 3.
Okay. And 4th one. 2013 against Poland. Was it a friendly or a qualifier?
I believe qualifier.
Theo Walcott been in that squad?
Theo Walcott. He's not.
Okay, so that's my 2 strikes then. Who else was it?
So, full lineup as per Joe Hart in goal.
Yeah.
Now, looking at this lineup, I'm not sure who it is at right back because it appears to be 3 centre backs on the pitch, but one of them was bad to have been playing right back.
Go on, name
Chris Smalling.
centre back.
Left, but we definitely know left back is Leighton Baines.
Yeah. I wasn't too sure whether it was him or Ash.
Gary Cahill.
Centre back.
You know, the other option who I firmly believe is definitely centre back in this. And I don't think you'd have got him in a million years. Phil Jagielka.
That means. Wait, who?
Smalling.
Who the fuck is-
I think Smalling was playing right back.
Yeah, but he wasn't playing there for United at that time because we had Antonio Valencia in 2013 still.
I do remember him being a bit
Yeah.
of a right back when he was younger.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like he has had. Yeah, I feel like even at United he might have had a few games at right back actually.
So, brace yourself with this midfield because no wonder we didn't win anything. Michael Carrick.
Absolute baller.
Oh
Underrated.
no, he's not the one I'm going for in this.
I was about to say underrated and underused by England managers. Should have had more caps than he did.
Gerrard is in there. You did say Gerrard.
Yeah.
And Josh
Again,
Townsend.
he's not. Townsend? Where the blooming hell was he at 2012, 2013?
He was a Tottenham player.
Oh, Jesus Christ. He didn't do anything at Tottenham, did he?
He did a bit. I don't remember really much of it, but he did a bit.
Played 50 games and scored 3 goals from 2009 to 2016. And 2013, he went out on loan to QPR, where he played 12 times and scored 2 goals.
Well, the front three. The dream front three. So obviously he said Wayne Rooney. He said Daniel Sturridge.
Yeah.
Any ideas? No, you can't think of the other forward in this? Because he was a Man U player also at the time.
Ashley Young.
It's Danny Welbeck.
Danny Welbeck. So wait, he's Welbeck playing as like a left winger then?
Must have.
Okay, so I got 3. I told you, I didn't think I'd be able to.
It's written down here as left mid. For some weird reason. So I guess it's got Wayne Rooney as the attacking mid, so it must have been like a 4-4-2 or something like that.
Yeah, Roy Hodgson played weird formations. Let's not get into that.
Your substitutes you could have had Lampard.
Yeah.
Did say James Milner.
James Milner was in the team still.
Yeah. And God, what could have been Jack Wilshere?
Jesus, he was alive. Not in hospital
21.
then. He wasn't in hospital then with an
He
injury.
was 21 at the time.
Still could have had an injury with Jack Wilshere. You know what he's like.
Yeah.
Decent. Right. The game I've gone for happened in 2011. It was a friendly at Wembley Stadium in November between England and Spain.
2011.
Yeah. No, I don't want you to name that. We did 1-0.
I might have a chance with this.
And I'm not going to ask you to name that Spain squad because that's practically their World Cup winning squad. So you're not having that squad.
I didn't
there.
expect that.
So go through the England squad for me, please. And we're allowed substitutes that came on.
See, the friendly tag doesn't.
And there was 6 substitutes that came on. It was literally only the back 4 and the keeper that didn't get changed.
I don't even feel confident about going for the obvious goalkeeping choice. I'll say Joe Hart.
Yep.
Thank God. Right, gotta think. 2011. I know it's a friendly, but I'll say Wayne Rooney.
Not in the squad.
See, this is where it just gets. God. It's the friendly tag, man. That's why it's annoying. You can't go for any of the normal ones. I'll say Frank Lampard.
Yep. He was captain of that day and scored the only goal.
Oh, this is just horrible. Steven Gerrard, fuck it.
No, again, not in the squad.
Okay, let's see. I just
So that's both of them wrong, and that's another victory for me, and that's why I went for so light. So the rest of that squad was at right back, Glenn Johnson.
I would never have thought that.
Centre half pairing of Jolien Lescott and Phil Jagielka.
I wonder if we would fuck all.
Left back of Ashley Cole. I don't know how you didn't get that one.
I thought he'd finished by then, to be honest. I thought that 2010 World Cup was his retirement.
No, and now this midfield, which I don't know what formation was playing here, because we've got 4 central midfielders on the pitch, and one's not actually a centre midfielder here. So the midfield was Theo Walcott.
What?
I don't know whether because they're doing it. I don't know because I've got a Sky Sports thing here, so I don't know whether they've just done it based on numbers or whether the position they were playing.
Do you know, I looked at the Sky Sports one for this thing. Apparently, game it was all over the place. It had Carrick in defence.
Here's the next one. Phil Jones played in midfield.
He was a CDM back then.
Scott Parker.
Oh my god.
James Milner.
No, he deserved it, didn't he?
Lampard, who you said, and the striker was Darren Bent. The subs that came on were Kyle Walker.
The Darren Bent was actually quite annoying because I'm guessing that game happened when he signed for us, and he's like his first season with us was great.
Yeah. Kyle Walker on the bench. Gareth Barry. Jack Rodwell.
Oh god.
Stuart Downing.
Oh no.
Danny Welbeck. And as same as before, we don't mention the 6th substitute.
Name redacted.
Yep. So that is the squad, which England won 1-0 against Spain.
So annoying, because this game is probably only going to get pulled out the most in the international breaks, and yet we're just going to be doing international games.
Yes.
The stupid, pointless friendlies that mean nothing, and we see people like goddamn Jack Rodwell involved.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to do a game from like England versus Poland from as far back as I could possibly go, but then I thought, no, that was a bit too harsh. I thought
I also saw one for like 2000. I had the option. It wasn't Poland game. I was going to do England-Greece 2001.
Oh, Jesus.
You say that, but it was the famous game from Beckham's free kick.
Old Trafford.
Yep.
But even then, I'd struggle to name that squad.
Look at it, I think you'd have been amazed to have gotten 5.
Yeah, that's the thing. But that squad was just...
But I'm not an arsehole.
Under Sven-Göran Eriksson, England had very strange teams.
It's the golden generation.
Where he used Paul Scholes as a left midfielder.
Like I said, the golden generation.
And people say, why didn't we win anything? Because he had fucking Paul Scholes. Probably the best passer of a ball out of Lampard, Scholes and Gerrard as a left midfielder. Who does that?
Good old Sven.
Jesus Christ. Right. I believe that is everything in terms of football news that we have rounded up.
It is, but we haven't yet rounded up the predictions league,
which I'm about to do, so don't worry, I hadn't forgot. So we predicted all the 6 WSL games and look back at them. So I went with 3-0 Man United, you went with 2-0, so that's a perfect score for you. Tottenham Arsenal, I went 4-1 Arsenal, you went 3-0, so again that's a perfect score for you, so 3 points for both of them games. Man City Reading, we both got the right team wrong score, so that's a further 2 points for you and first 2 points for me. Oh no, 2 more points for me. Brighton Everton, we were both wrong because I predicted a Brighton win, you predicted a draw. Chelsea Aston Villa, sorry, we both got right team wrong score again. That's 2 more points to us. And Birmingham Bristol, we were both wrong with. So at the end of this weekend's results, you're on 98 points, closing in on the 100-point mark now.
Can taste it.
And I'm out on front with 125. So I'm still got that gap. We'll be doing that again later on this week, but we do have Premier League fixtures to look forward to at the end of this week of the Easter weekend.
Fantastic news.
Yes, and fortunately for us as well, there's even games on Good Friday, as we have a whole set of Championship fixtures as well. So a lot of games to look forward to over the next coming week after this international break has finally decided to do one, which I believe it might actually be the last one before the Euro starts.
I believe it's just all the warm-up pictures, if it is, but we will probably be preoccupied with other stuff in that time.
Yes, and much better stuff as well than international fixtures.
But the bar's not that high. I mean,
Well, yeah. I mean, any sort of club football is better than international football unless it's a major tournament. Right, that is it. And we'll, like I said, we'll be back at the end of the week to look forward to the games in the Premier League and elsewhere across the world of football. And wherever you are listening to, make sure you give us a like, comment, and subscribe if you're listening to on YouTube. Give us a 5-star rating if you're listening to on Apple Podcasts, and download us if you are listening to on Spotify and any other platform as well. And until later on this week, it's goodbye from myself and goodbye from Brad.
yeah, see ya. I'm off to line the sun.
Until later on this week, we'll see you soon.